All right, we'll call this meeting to order. First of all, I want to apologize to the audience for we're a little behind schedule tonight. We had our Christmas dinner with our staff and faculty, and so thank you for bearing with us. First, let the record reflect that this meeting's been posted as required by statute, and we have a quorum here. And at this time, I'd like to take a moment of silence. If everybody would please do that for a few minutes, thanks, or seconds. Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to call on Mr. Strubhart to help us introduce our student for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight's pledge will be led by Daniela Ramos. Daniela is an 8th grade student at Harlingen School of Health Professions. She is an active member of National Junior Honor Society, Girl Scouts of America, the Harlingen Aquatics Team, and Music is My Medicine, an organization at Harlingen School of Health Professions. Her favorite subject is biology. Her area of interest is surgery, so she foresees herself following the Surgical Procedures School of Study and becoming a neurosurgeon. Joining her tonight are her parents, Mariana Lopez Ramos and Rolando Ramos. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniela Ramos.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Daniela? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, okay.
How do you like your new school?
I love my new school.
Would you like to tell anybody here in the audience about it?
Well, my new school consists of one large common area. It also has an open library. It has a Mac lab, and it has a second floor. And the second floor has a lecture hall where the presenters will go and present everything.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, the next item is we have our PTSA Students of the Month for November. Mr. Strubhart.
Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight, HCISD would like to recognize our November City Council PTA Students of the Month from Harlingen High School South, and Early College High School with interviews of each of these students.
My name is Justin McManus. I go to Harlingen High School and I'm a senior. I'm the captain of the varsity tennis team here at Harlingen High School. I'm also the captain of the flag crew for Harlingen High School. I'm also the vice president of the National Honor Society here at Harlingen High School. Outside of Harlingen High School, I'm in the Boy Scouts of America. I got my Eagle rank when I was a sophomore. I'm also very active in 4-H. I show chickens at the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show, and I'm the president of the Cameron County Council here for the 4-H.
My name is Savannah Butters. I attend Harlingen High School and I'm a senior. I'm involved in NHS as the National Honor Society. I'm the parliamentarian for that organization. I'm a proud member of NTHS, which is the National Technical Honor Society. I'm the president of our Harlingen FFA chapter. I'm also the president of our senior class. I'm also very involved in volleyball and basketball. I played for 3 years in basketball, 4 years in volleyball, and I plan to finish my 4th year in track and field this year. I have done a little bit of cross country. Outside of school, I'm involved in the Republican Women. I recently received a scholarship for $750 from the Republican Women of Kerr County, and I did go to their national convention in Kentucky a couple years ago.
I've gotten a lot of leadership experience, a lot of speaking experiences where you speak in front of a crowd. Really the only things that can help you get those, in my opinion, are experience, getting to get in there and actually do it. And all these organizations have given me a lot of that. It also taught me a lot about service. 4-H and National Honor Society do a lot of community service, and that's taught me the importance of service, giving back to your community, especially a community that's done so much for you. And tennis, it's also taught me a lot about myself, taught me a lot about how intense I can be and how competitive I can be, and to focus that in a good way, in a positive way, and to help me with my relations with other people, especially when I have a doubles partner.
The top lessons that I've learned is probably leadership and communication. I've learned that with most of the teams that I work with, I usually fizzle up to the top to lead my team, and in order to do that, you have to have exemplary communication with your team members, because that's the basis for getting any work done, and learning new things and all that sort of deal is really tied into being able to work with your team, and I think that's one of the key points that I've learned.
One thing I'm really passionate about is family. I like to spend time with my family. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so I like to go hunting a lot with my dad and my brother and my grandpa when he can. I really enjoy that, getting to spend time out in the outdoors, and that's another big thing about Boy Scouts. You get to go camping, spend a lot of time out in the outdoors. I really enjoy that, and just the peace and quiet out there, a different setting than your usual setting out here in school or at work or wherever you do. And I'm also really passionate about tennis, obviously. Really enjoy that, and just being out on the court just makes me feel better. It takes away from a hard day.
I'm really passionate about FFA. I believe our future is in agriculture, and nothing is going to benefit us more than the food we eat and the clothes we wear, because that's the first thing you do when you wake up. You get dressed and you eat breakfast. So I think that's one of the reasons it's very important that we are continually innovating our agricultural our agricultural technologies, because by 2050, we're going to have to feed another 1.3 billion people, and that means we need to quadruple the amount of crops that we can produce on the same acreage of land. And so that's a big task that our farmers and all of our biologists are looking at right now. So that's why I feel our agriculture is going to be our next hugest innovation, and I want to be a part of it.
I would like to go to Texas A&M University in College Station. I've been accepted there. I wanted to major in agricultural and biological engineering, and I wanted to participate in the Corps of Cadets when I was there.
I want to attend Texas A&M, and I'm right now going to major in business.
I'm Rita Bolus. I'm a 12th grader and I go to Harlingen High School South. I'm involved in PTSA, NTHS, I'm involved in NHS, I do FCA. I'm also involved in sports, which go on pretty much throughout the year. I'm in basketball and soccer, so that takes a lot of time too.
I'm Emily Susan. I'm a 12th grader at Harlingen High School South. Well, I'm really involved in PTSA. I've been the president last year, and I'm the president this year. And I'm in NTHS, NHS, FFA, FCA, and I play basketball and volleyball.
Well, the biggest lessons I've learned are basically, my mom always tells me everything you do that's good is because of me. And while I do want to take sole credit for all the good things I do know that they played a huge part in laying the foundation for all the stuff I've done in high school, in clubs and in sports, and they basically laid that foundation for my future.
I've learned that every organization or group of people needs a leader, and a leader just needs to make all the people around them better. Not necessarily by talking or yelling at them, but more just making them make them push themselves to be the best that they can be, so then everyone else around them will also raise their standards.
School's #1 for me, and I'm very passionate about my education and going as far as I can. So I know that wherever I go, whatever I do, I just want to broaden my education and get as far as I can in it.
I'm really passionate about just attaining all the goals that I've set for myself. So just going to college and graduating college and getting a good career later in life.
My #1 school right now is Baylor University in Waco, and I'm planning to major in biology, and I hope to eventually get to medical school to become a doctor, and once I get to that point, I plan to specialize maybe in cardiology, because that's something I'm interested in.
Right now, I really want to go to Baylor University, and I want to major in engineering, and then hopefully either go to med school or go get my master's degree in biomedical engineering.
I'm Tommy Yates. I'm 18. I'm a senior at Early College High School. I finished my Eagle Scout project and am in the process of getting to be an Eagle Scout. I'm also in National Honor Society and was in robotics 3 years of my time at this school.
My name is Kalia Lopez. I'm a senior at Early College High School. At Early College High School, I'm a historian for National Honor Society, and I was historian for robotics. And I'm also the second lieutenant dance officer for the Cadets dance team.
My Eagle Scout project, it went really well. I had a lot of help from TSTC and several other places throughout the city of Harlingen that they provided so much help. It was great. I learned that you could get a lot done to help the community in just the summer.
Through the organizations that I'm involved in, I've learned leadership skills, responsibility, and discipline. And I've also learned time management since I do participate in the dance team at Harlingen High. So I manage my time here and my schoolwork, and I also make time to dance.
I like to create software. I've created various things. It's a very fun thing to do. I like computers. I'm probably going to get an education in computers at college.
I would say I'm most passionate about dance and school since I really like learning new things, and I enjoy going in class, but I'm really passionate about dance because through dance you're able to express yourself and you gain self-confidence.
Well, I'm probably going to go to Abilene Christian University or UT in Dallas so that I can get a major in digital entertainment technology.
I plan on graduating from Texas State Technical College with my associates in biology and my academic core before I graduate high school. So after I graduate, I want to transfer to Our Lady of the Lake in San Antonio and get my bachelor's in communications disorders.
Wow, you talk about some kids that are ready to take on the world, right? At this time, I would like to ask all the students that are present tonight to stand and be recognized. I'd also like their parents to stand to be recognized. The parents, if you're here tonight, would you please stand? They couldn't have done it without you. Mr. President, if you don't mind, can we get the board to come forward to take a photo with the students? Students, can you come forward, please, and take a photo with the board?
right, thank you all very much. Boy, the future is really bright with these kids, I'll tell you. Like Shane said, they can take on the world. I just hope you all come back home and help us take it on here too. Okay, the next item we have is approval of the minutes. We have the November 11, 2014 public hearing and November 11, 2014 regular board meeting and our December 2nd, 2014 special board meeting. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I move approval.
It's been moved by Mrs. Fleurier,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. McShann. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The next item is our principal's report from Ms. Tina Garza and her brand-new Harlingen School of Health Professions, her second day.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Board President, Board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. I come before you to highlight Harlingen School of Health Professions and the special events that afford our students unique experiences at HCIC's newest school of choice. Besides the standard requirements of the school day and the rigorous curriculum, our daily schedule is embedded with offerings designed to allow our students opportunities to enhance their 13th year profile as we prepare them for their post-secondary education. That scheduled experience is identified as Phoenix Time. Phoenix Time is a structured period embedded into the student's schedule and has a daily theme. We begin each week with Mentoring Mondays, structured to allow students to seek assistance in their academic core. Team Building Tuesdays, designed to be a day of engaging activities within their group and collaboration. Wisdom Wednesdays, designed to allow students an opportunity to present on their areas of wisdom and expertise. Tutelage Thursday, which is a structured presentations that are medically themed, and our campus-wide professional day also occurs on that day. And last but not least, Focus Fridays, a concentration of activities that enhance our 13th year focus. If asked their preference, students would highlight that Tutelage Thursdays is their favorite. We have activities that have ranged from learning about sugar content in common drinks that they have. We have had touring outside of an ambulance guided by the crew of South Texas Emergency Care. We've had students experiencing physical therapy techniques presented by UT Health Science students. They've received guidance on pre-veterinary academic preparation from a recent Texas A&M graduate and also a former student of mine. And they've been led through a live open heart surgery by a registered operating room nurse. Here are a few of our Phoenix sharing their insight on the highlights of their first semester at HSHP and how the opportunities as 8th and 9th graders allow them to explore and guide them on their path. You ready for me?
Well, we've seen a lot of presentations in the course of our year, and everybody really likes it. I remember a professor at the UT Health Science Center. She actually teaches dental stuff, so she's a dental professor in the dental profession. And I really liked that presentation because I feel that she really told us what a professor expects and how we can get more prepared for that kind of setting.
My favorite one has definitely been the physical therapist because that's what I want to be when I grow up. So it's just cool kind of seeing how they do things there.
My favorite one was the registered nurse because it showed how her experience is in the operating room and how she interacts with other people.
These presentations, I've learned that there's a wide variety of medical research we can do, so it just helps us to pick which one we can get.
The greatest thing I've learned from these presentations is that college is something that we really need to start preparing for, and we need to just go ahead and keep on doing our best to be more competitive in that area.
I'm interested in physical therapy, and seeing those presentations will help, and since we're going to be, when we get older and we're in like senior year, we get to actually go into the hospitals and do stuff. So I think that'll actually benefit me a lot more by being at the school.
I like that there are less students than a regular middle school, so the teachers can focus more on you and what you need help with. There's also tutoring offered after school on certain days, and it's offered to anyone.
The School of Health Professions will help me get there by having the hands-on that this school that we have will give for us.
I love how the teachers really help to drive us, and also like how the principals and the staff really do expect a lot out of us, more so than at Gano or a regular high school. I also like the atmosphere. Everybody here really cares about their future and all that kind of stuff, so that's all that I really like about the school.
What I like about the school is that you get to interact with every other student. You get to know more about them as you work together on each group. And the teachers, if you need help, they're there for you. You don't have a problem staying after school for tutoring or going to lunch to their classroom to help you out.
I'm looking forward to the project-based learning, the hands-on, and the internships that we will get.
I think this school will really help me in that area because, one, well, I'll get to know what it is that really drives me and what I want to do in the medical profession. And I think that I come here mainly because when I do get to that level, I want to give my patients the care that they deserve and the best that I can do. And I think that everybody here would agree that we're here to ensure that we take that front step and put ourselves in the front of the line.
Thank you. They're very good at expressing their thoughts. So as I continue on, HSHP will continue to foster this excitement and pique student interest, connecting rigorous academics with health-related professions through engaging lessons, including math correlations to biomolecular content in carbohydrates, patient care scenarios for principles of health science, and genetically modified organisms as part of the project-based learning model in biology. As we carry on through the remainder of the year in our new building, excitement will be key. HSHP will continue to schedule future community experiences to support and enhance their fullest potential. Maintaining our focus will prepare them for their 13th year as we lead them into their post-secondary endeavors and place them at the front of the line in their institution or program of choice. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Fleury?
Thank you so much. What a wonderful opportunity, Tina, to tell you congratulations and thank you, and to share with our audience that you have just seen a very professional side of Mrs. Tina Garza, our principal, but actually inside her heart right now, she is just spinning and clicking her heels.
It's been a whirlwind. It's been a great 2 days.
What a wonderful, wonderful move-in week, and also I'm sure, Dr. Cavazos, that we'll be notifying the public in a very public way. But we would like to invite everyone in the community to come and see this new school. Those of us who've been here a long time, like the McManus family and some of the rest of us around here, we haven't seen anything like this before. This is extraordinarily true that this is the beginning of a new day, and we're so proud and so excited, and we know you're so excited you can just hardly stand.
I can hardly stand, and I want to thank the board for this opportunity. It's been a tremendous experience from the planning to actually opening that front door, so it's been great.
We've got the right leader and your team in place, and the students are going to soar.
Thank you.
I just want to say I was out there today, and the excitement on the children's face, the enthusiasm is just phenomenal. And we thank you because you've done a great job in leading out there. Your staff is second to none. I mean, I met a few of the teachers today, and we were so lucky. And anybody in the audience that has an opportunity, you really, really need to go out and look at this school. We sent a team out looking all over the state before we built it, get design, and we took their ideas and the things that they wish they'd have done, and we did them. And we have a facility that really and truly, no exaggeration, is the finest professional medical high school in probably in the state of Texas. So I really encourage every one of y'all, tell your friends. If you've got friends that have children that are interested in this, you really, really we'd be doing them a favor to get them to go out and look at it. Thank you, Tina, for everything.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize some of my staff that are here, as well as some of our students that were actually in the video. If y'all would please stand. Thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next item is public comments. Do we have any tonight? Ms. Brown says no. All right. All right. And the next item is our consent calendar. We have on the consent calendar the approval of proclamation for Board Recognition Month, which will be addressed next month in January. Award of proposals and contracts by Mr. Gracia. Tax refunds, Mr. Cavazos, and let me see. Budget amendments, Mr. Cavazos. Tax collection information, Mr. Cavazos. Monthly financials, quarterly investment reports, all by Mr. Julio Cavazos. Do we have any motions on this? Okay.
President, I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
All right, moved by Mr. McShann,
Second the motion.
seconded by Dr. Pettis. Is there any further discussion, any questions? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the consent agenda is approved. The next item on the agenda is matters related to transformation and school support. At this time, Dr. Cavazos, will you give us a report, and then Dr. Pettis also, please.
Yes, Mr. President, board members, senior team, and of course the audience and those of them watching by television. The Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee is a committee where the action ideas that come out of the strategic planning process become a conversation with the board. This past month we had two topics. One was our research and review in looking at applying for an early college high school designation for our comprehensive high schools, allowing the participation in dual credit programs to begin as early as 9th grade and move on all the way through the senior year. Our benchmark is to have kids that have opportunities to gain a minimum of 12 to a maximum of 36 hours during their high school experience. That can only happen if we start early. And so Dr. Noyola gave a presentation on the work being done centered around that topic and creating an application and submitting an application for early college high school designation. The second item, which is in keeping with the strategic plan and the idea of providing choice to our families in our school district, public education is also a place where there can be choice. Tonight you heard about our School of Health Professions that provides that choice for students who choose to focus in the medical area. We heard a presentation from Dr. Noyola about another specialty school concept and looking at whether that is a model that will continue to advance the work in Harlingen, in the Harlingen School District. And one of the models that is being reviewed and researched at this point is a Young Women's Leadership Academy, which will allow young ladies to participate in a specialty school and advance the work in the area of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This doesn't happen by chance. There are philanthropists, there are programs throughout the state and the country looking at Harlingen as a place to set a mark and continue this transformation of providing choice to our parents. While we recognize that the early college high school and the School of Health Professions is not a choice for everyone, but it is a choice for many. And so the district is committed through the vision of the board to continue to provide choice and provide a meaningful learning experience for all students in the district. And that may include some specialized programs that continue to focus in those areas that students want to focus on. Our STEM programs, which is our science, technology, engineering, mathematics, continues to see a disproportionate number, more males than females pursuing that program of study. And so we continue to research that as a model and to see if it fits in Harlingen. And so I turn it over to our chair, who continues to do phenomenal work in guiding this district through the action ideas of the strategic plan. Dr. Perez, in case he would like to add anything to the conversation.
Sure, thank you, Dr. Cavazos. Let me just tell you, each meeting as we attend these committee meetings, we hear about the excellent work going forward, and continue to be impressed with how serious and how committed the district is under your leadership, Dr. Cavazos, to see this strategic plan come to fruition. And I keep just I'm being amazed about the new ideas and innovation, and I can tell the level of commitment is not just at the board level and not just in your desk, but it extends in all campuses. As I heard this past few days, I think it was last week, many of you all know that we have a new governor starting January 20th, Governor Abbott, General Abbott, currently is still our Attorney General, and he's already come out and stated that he will make education his main priority during his tenure as governor. I think a lot of us here are happy to see that, and we have a lot of work to be done in both public and higher ed, and I'm glad to see him tackle that on. I can tell you, with all the exciting things that Dr. Cavazos is doing and leading us, he's just a trailblazer in education and public education, not only in Texas but throughout the country. And you heard some concepts with regards to our early college high school designation at our comprehensive high schools. I think it's critically important that we give all our students a serious jump start to higher education while there are in our school buildings. Let them change majors on our dime, so to speak, and sort of begin the college and career awareness starting in elementary school, and then exploration starting in secondary school. I think that's phenomenal. The other concept that I think that he's leading the charge is in the schools of choice. It's going to be a huge issue this next session, and Dr. Cavazos is leading the charge right within our public school system here in terms of our exciting options in terms of schools of choice. A couple other things I'd mention. The curriculum alignment, amazing opportunities with what we're doing with TSTC, UTRGV, and I think that's going to be exciting to see that. The things that he's doing with talent acquisition, and then another example, the specialized counseling and college advisors. All these are just ideas that tell you that what Dr. Cavazos is doing, he's going to be, I guarantee you, right there in the mix with our governor and with our lieutenant governor, really reshaping how public education is delivered. And so really honored to serve with you, Dr. Cavazos. We're excited for the work that you bring to the committee, to the board, and we're just excited to see it all come to fruition. So again, another great meeting, and we look forward to the next one.
All right, thank you, Dr. Pettis. The next item that we have is matters related to curriculum and instruction. First item is approval of out-of-state trip for migrant students to Washington, D.C. and New York City on June the 7th through the 13th of 2015. We have Mrs. Magdalena Lopez and Jessica Galvan.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mr. President, School Board Trustees, Dr. Cavazos, Superintendent staff, and guests. I'm honored to come before you tonight along with some of our migrant education program staff, Ms. Kathleen Martin, Elementary Migrant Counselor, Mr. Rogelio Magaña, Middle School Migrant Counselor, Mrs. Marta Delgado, 9th grade migrant strategist at Dr. Cano Academy, Ms. Astrid Gandaria, migrant social worker, Mrs. Arlita Mes and Mrs. Thelma Reynolds, the backbone to our wonderful program, and myself, Ms. Magdalena Lopez, high school migrant counselor. Unfortunately, Jessica Galvan was not able to join us. One of her 4 beautiful boys was sick today with the flu, but she's here in spirit, we know that. And lastly, of course, we have quite a crowd with us here tonight, quite a few of our 8th grade migrant students and their families that we look forward to introducing later in our presentation. So as you may already be aware, the purpose of the Migrant Education Program is to provide supplemental support and services to eligible migrant students who may experience obstacles as a result of their mobile lifestyle. By providing these supplemental opportunities, we are helping our migrant students succeed in school. and we're ensuring that we get them to and past the finish line by encouraging them to continue to post-secondary education. So as a department, we have reflected on Dr. Cavazos' message about perfecting our practice, which he shared with all of us at the beginning of the school year. We always encourage our students to believe in themselves and to definitely dream big. And we aim to challenge them in ways that extend far out of the classroom. We too hope that our students can look back at the experiences and opportunities we provide to them, perhaps also 26 years from today, with gratitude and self-fulfillment. And so we come here today as a team to respectfully request your approval for another once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, which promises to enhance our 10th grade migrant students' existing knowledge in regards to our government and its political processes. Our goal is to have at least 40 10th grade migrant students partake in this amazing program. So with us today are quite a few of the 40 8th grade migrant students that attended the COSUP trip to Washington, D.C. and New York City this past summer. Their parents are also joining us. So ladies and gentlemen, please stand when I call your name. From Vela Middle School, we have Eileen Valdez, Chastity Chavez, Melanie Montoya, Matthew Alcala, Yomaira Juarez, Victoria Martinez, and Isui Villasana. From Vernon Middle School, we have Jasmine Acosta. Coakley Middle School, we have Jose Salazar and Luis Delgado. And from Gutierrez Middle School, we have Alejandra Llanas and Chelsea Acosta. It is an honor for us to work with our students every single day, and we are grateful to their parents and their families for entrusting us with their kids this past summer. Es un honor para nosotros trabajar con sus hijos y les damos las gracias por la confianza que nos brindan. Thank you. You can have a seat. At this time, we'd like to invite you to enjoy this brief video from our past summer's participants.
I really liked the trip. It was very educational. I liked the workshops. We learned a lot about the memorials, and that was really cool.
This year in my history class, I've been learning about the Constitution, and I feel like I'm ahead of the game because we learned this in Washington, D.C.
Gracias. This trip was fantastic because I finally learned how to do the new experience of how a plane feels like, and that I actually learned that there's actually a Martin Luther King Jr. Statue.
I like it how we met new people and we like contradicting our ideas and different cultures, and I really enjoyed the trip, and I wish we can have another one.
I like this experience because I got to meet new people. I got to go to different places. My favorite monument was the 9/11 monument because it showed us things that we can learn.
I've seen it on pictures, on books, on TV, movies, the Statue of Liberty, but I've never seen it real life.
I like that they took us to different places to learn for our future.
I don't know where exactly Obama lives, and when I went to Washington, D.C. and New York, I already know where he lives.
Donkey! Thank you to all the HCISD who made this happen, and you guys gave us a huge opportunity to go to this, and it's something I'll never forget.
My favorite was when we went on top of a building in New York. I could see all those wonderful buildings, and the excitement was just breathtaking.
I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity for going on this field trip. I've visited a lot of amazing places that I've always wanted to go.
My favorite place was when I went to go see the Martin Luther King Memorial, because when I was a little girl, I would always read about it, and it made me connect to him more.
I want to thank the HCISD for letting me go on this trip. Me and my sister went, and we talked. My favorite part was when I was hanging out with my friends.
I love this trip because it exposed me to experiences I never had.
I want to thank the migrant program because I saw a lot of beautiful buildings, and I always seen the White House in books, and it was like my dream to go see the White House.
What I like about the trip was that I met new people from different cultures.
I enjoyed going on the trip and meeting the different people and learning about their cultures.
And so the message is pretty clear. We thank you. Our students had a wonderful, wonderful time. It was a great experience. And like we mentioned before, we aim to serve the student as a whole, as an individual, and providing these experiences for them is amazing. And we look forward to more of that.
Mr. President, I move approval for the out-of-state trip for migrant students to Washington, D.C. and New York City on June 7th to 13th, 2015.
Moved by Dr. Pettis. Do I have a second?
Oh, certainly, yes, I
Okay.
second.
Mrs. Fleury seconds. This is terrific. Do y'all need some chaperones to go along with you?
Oh, believe us, we get asked all the time.
Are you going to do the same highlights this year? I mean, this is just incredible experience.
So there are two separate there are different programs for the different age groups, but it's the same. It's close up. They are amazing. Their programs they've been around for many years. They're very organized. I mean, we don't worry about a thing as far as planning just from our end, but they're very organized. They have supervision at all hours, day and night. Students, we're busy from 6:30 in the morning, and the kids can tell you until 9, 10 o'clock at night, visiting monuments, and then they have workshops at the end of every day. So we're excited about taking our 10th graders now. We want that exposure for them as we're guiding them into post-secondary education. So it'll be new for us. We'll see what that program holds. The pamphlets that we passed out give a little bit more information, but the program is great. We're very pleased with it.
How do you go from Washington to New York? Is it by train or bus?
A bus,
Bus?
a charter
Okay,
bus,
that's
yes.
great.
And you would think, I mean, there's so much traffic, but they have every minute down to the T. I have no idea how they do it.
It sounds like it.
It's
Well,
great.
That's phenomenal. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Okay, the next item is the approval of out-of-state trip for Harlingen High School speech drama debate team to attend Columbia University Invitational Speech Tournament in New York City on January 22nd through the 27th, 2015. Ms. Tasha Neese.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, board members, board trustees, and audience. On behalf of the entire Cardinal Speech Drama Debate family, we're really excited to be here tonight to ask permission to travel to this year's Columbia University Tournament in New York City. In just a short 2 years, these students have soared to new heights that were almost unimaginable before. Just this year, we've had the opportunity to attend 2 nationally competitive tournaments, with students from Harlingen High ranking in the top 32, the top 12, and as of this weekend at the University of Texas Longhorn Tournament, the top 8 amongst national competitors in speech and debate.
We know that tournament is a lot bigger than Harvard and New York.
Longhorns. Go ahead, Tasha.
I concur, Mr. Powers.
Thank you. Thank you.
So to continue with the push that these students are moving with and the drive, we're wanting to attend Columbia University tournament. The tournament would begin on Friday with students leaving on Thursday. Competition would happen on Friday, Saturday, finals and awards happening on Sunday, and Monday would be reserved for students to take in all of the cultural endeavors of New York City. Some unique experiences that are on the table this year are the recent opening of the 9/11 Museum, a guided tour of NYU to accompany their time at Columbia University, and a unique invitation from a Harlingen High School alum to attend a guided tour of the MTV studios. Wow. Mr. Colin Gull has invited Cardinals to attend this, as he is now his director there. So if we are able to attend, we look forward to a very competitive tournament for our students to not only showcase their talents, but to represent HCISD in all of its glory, and also take in some cultural experiences and make our students here at HCISD not only more competitive, but more well-rounded, more experienced, and provided more opportunities. And of course, this year, like past years, this will be of no additional cost to the board. The students are out there beating the pavement, working hard, and to raise the money to attend, they are very eager to compete.
Ms. Fleury, do you have anything to add?
I just think it's wonderful. I want to thank you for what you're doing and the program that you're growing there. We are, you know, as Dr. Cavazos alluded earlier when we're talking about schools of choice, and it is just extraordinarily important that we realize that every school we have, one way or another, is a school of choice. And our comprehensive high schools are absolutely the leaders in this. So we're talking about branching off and doing different things, but it is critically important that our comprehensive high schools maintain the absolute highest bar. And thank you, Tasha, for bringing that to us. I'm just so impressed and so pleased with what you're doing, and think it's absolutely wonderful.
Well, it's no secret that Harlingen High has fantastic administration that really breeds a culture of excellence on that campus. They don't accept anything less, and they make sure that they're available to provide that to us. So that we are very fortunate, and I also have lots and lots of help and eager students.
Do you have your team here tonight, or part of your team?
Yes, we have some students that are in the running to attend the Columbia University tournament, as well as Ms. Hinojosa, our new drama director at Harlingen High School, Mr. Cano is a consultant who's been helping us, and an alum of Harlingen South, Ms. Marissa Pena, who's a very decorated speech drama debate competitor who just couldn't get it out of her blood, and she's been coming back and giving back to the program as well. So they are in the audience tonight.
Would you like to introduce your
Yes,
students,
stand.
please, and your staff? Fantastic.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I think you're doing a phenomenal job. This is something that Harlingen High School has needed for a long time, and just in 2 years, you all are doing fantastic. These awards you're winning, I mean, we have a lot of talent, and you all are demonstrating that. So thank you all. Go bring home some gold, silver, and bronze, okay?
Well, we need to give them permission.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ms. Young right here.
All right, Ms. Young, you're going to make a motion?
I move that we approve the out-of-state trip of Harlingen High School speech drama debate team to attend the Columbia University Invitational Speech Tournament in New York City on January 22nd to the 27th of 2015. And congratulations to each and every one of you.
And I second the motion.
All right, it's been moved by Mrs. Young, seconded by Mr. McShann. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Who was the contestant at the UT that came in 8th? Are they here tonight?
He's not here tonight.
He's not
His
here.
name's actually Grant Burbach, and he's a freshman that comes to us from Kano Academy
Oh,
and competed in
freshman.
junior Lincoln Douglas debate. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Congratulations, y'all have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next matter is matters relating to human services. District highly qualified teacher status for 2014-2015. Our presenter is Mrs. Rosalinda Vargas.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Tonight I bring an administrative report to share with you. The No Child Left Behind Act places particular emphasis on the need for school districts to ensure that teachers of a core academic subject meet certain minimum requirements they need to become effective educators. To achieve this goal, the Act requires all teachers teaching core subject areas, academic areas, to meet specific competency and educational requirements. Teachers who meet these requirements are considered highly qualified. Each district is required to publicly report its progress in meeting highly qualified teacher requirements. Harlingen CISD highly qualified status has been reported to the Texas Education Agency and as required, reflecting data collected for the September 16th, 2014 snapshot date. I'm proud to report that Harlingen CISD's highly qualified teacher status is 100% highly qualified. I've attached the highly qualified teacher summary report for 2014-15 for your review, and I'll be glad to answer any questions this evening.
Thank you very much. Does the board have any questions? All right. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
The next item is consideration and approval of teacher incentive pay for early notification of resignation from employment. Mrs. Corton.
No, you can't resign.
I'm delivering an early incentive. No. So good evening, Mr. President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Cavazos, and senior team. I'm here this evening just as a follow-up. In November, we discussed the 543 model for our early incentive program. I'm here this evening to ask for approval for that program. Essentially, what we would be looking at is with our early notice incentive, we are looking at a $500 incentive for those individuals who declare by the end of January, who declare that they will either be retiring or resigning. That incentive changes to $400 if they do that between the end of January and the end of February. And then the last level of that incentive would be at the end of March, which would incur a $300 incentive. We are looking at a projected cost of about $20,000, and that is a line item that we had worked in previously with our budget. Questions?
Mr. President, I would just like to ask Ms. Cortana if you would please just very briefly explain for the listening public on television why this is such an important issue for our district.
Absolutely. So the early incentive last year allowed us to have a very clear understanding of how many vacancies we would have prior to our talent acquisition event. And the goal with the early incentive program is to have as many of those vacancies identified before the end of our school year, and certainly before we get to our talent acquisition event in April. There's a huge benefit because, as you know, as we're acquiring talent, the timeliness is very important. And so if we have an incentive program that runs from January to the end of March, then that gives us a very clear timeline as to how we can proceed with filling those vacancies with the very best talent.
Thank you.
President, I move approval.
Been moved by Mr. McShann,
Second motion.
seconded by Mrs. Fleury. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Oh, I'm sorry, we have some discussion.
No, I'm just gonna ask, I see Julio looking on very attentively over there.
Attentive.
And I just wanted to ask if you had any sort of predictions as how this would play out. We have an experience of last year, and now we have a tweak to the design of the program, incentive program. Do you have any idea how it's gonna play out? And
I think this is an excellent, idea going forward this early on in the school year. Last year, we had a total of 48 teachers that took the incentive. And it cost us about $17,000 this year, projecting it a little bit earlier, a little bit bigger incentive for those teachers. We're looking at about $22,000, overall cost, which we think it's a minimal cost to acquire the best available staff.
So Julio, and I'm just gonna hang on to that last comment you made, because I see that too as the most important reason is to increase the quality of the applicants and increase the quality of our teachers and staff that we hire. Is there any other benefit? I mean, that's a huge benefit in and of itself, and I think worth even double or triple that, in my opinion. But I guess what I'm saying is there any other benefit with regards to financial considerations, specifically with regards to, we had mentioned the possibility of using some of the talent reserve for substitute teaching and things like that. Has that actually happened or not really?
It has actually. We do have a few slots that our teacher talent reserve individuals are taking care of. And when I say taken care of, as we are having the leave notifications, or if somebody is going to be out for an extended period of time, then we work with our principals and the talent reserve individuals to cover those slots. And that has actually worked out very well. We do have a few anticipated slots that we'll need to cover for the spring. And Mrs. Romero and I are currently working with the principals because that really was the intention of the teacher talent reserve.
Well,
So it does offset some of the costs of the substitutes that we would normally pay for those substitutes for that particular day.
Well, and again, I just wanted to throw that in there because I figured as much, but I did not know. But again, going back to the obvious, I think it's, again, mentioned in my previous comments about what Dr. Cavazos and his staff, what you guys are doing with regards to talent acquisition. This is actually a critical component of that, because if we are able to free up some of these spots early enough, a lot of folks are just not simply available, in the late summer or mid-late summer. And so this is just, again, a critically important concept to increasing the quality of our human capital in the district. So kudos to you, Veronica. I mean, this is a great concept. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is matters related to district operations. First is Facility Committee Report. Mr. Tapia.
Thank you, President Powers, members of the board, and Dr. Cavazos, colleagues. Facilities Committee meeting was held on December 2nd. Discussion, the first item was the School of Health Professions. We talked about the progress and that we're planning to open it this week. We also discussed the Aquatic Center and the status of that project, and as well as small classroom wing at Jefferson, kitchen renovation at Harlingen High, some storage, pavilions, and restroom buildings throughout the district. And we discussed some change orders. And Julio Cavazos gave a construction funds financial report. I'll open it up for any questions you may have.
Is there any questions from the board? Mr. McShann, since you chair that committee, do you have any comments? Or?
I want to commend Mr. Tapia and his staff for doing a really extraordinary work in addressing those facilities, particularly the School of Health Professions, and that, you know, we opened Monday. Extraordinary work. We applaud you for that. And also with the Aquatic Center, that is moving along. And hopefully we'll have water in there. How soon you think, Mr. Tapia?
We had a meeting today. We're looking at mid-January at this time.
Okay, very well. Well, that's moving along quite well. One thing I will say is that when we look at our facilities, it really connects to collaborative learning. It's not just a regular classroom, particularly look at the School of Health Professions and what it does to enhance learning. It is amazing. I know the board members, some of us been there. Take a look at it. It's amazing. And I know Dr. Pettis, you'd be amazed when you see how the laboratories are connected to the sort of lecture areas. Really amazing. Just amazing. And looking forward also with the Aquatic Center, I think sometime in January we'll kick off the second graders. We'll start their lessons there as well. So commend you, Mr. Tapia, and your staff for doing an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Oscar. The next item is approval of contingency change order for the Harlingen High School of Health Professions.
Yes, President Greg Powers. This item was discussed in detail at the Facilities Committee meeting on December 2nd. It was a change order that we had for the School of Health Professions, dealing with the addition of the Cyber Cafe, the new marquee sign, and additional acoustical wall panels for the new school, totaling $137,057. The administration recommends approval of the change order.
First, I move approval of the change order, and I might add that change order leaves a balance of about $250,000 in contingency fund.
That's correct.
Moved by Mr. McShann.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Fleury. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. The next item is approval of public request to erect a plaque at Austin Elementary School. Mr. Tapia?
As President Powers, member of the board, this item was discussed at a previous Facilities Committee meeting from a request that we had from Mr. Warren Tishner to honor his grandfather, McHenry Tishner, to put a plaque at Austin Elementary related to a sidewalk project that he wanted to pay for. He's requesting that a plaque be erected on site honoring his grandfather, who also was an alumni of Austin Elementary, as well as he was. And local policy CW requires that any plaque to be erected at any of our school facilities require board approval, that it meets certain criteria, and that the sign be shall have dimensions not to exceed 24 inches by 14 inches. Mr. Tishner has requested a 24 by 24, so it's a little bigger than allowed, so it would require board approval. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions you may have. Administration does recommend approval of this request.
Mr. President,
Yes,
as a
ma'am.
member of a four-generation family who attended Austin Elementary School.
We want a plaque too.
and in appreciation for what the Tishner family has done for this community, and specifically what Mr. Warren Tishner has done over the last several years for Austin Elementary. How wonderful to have someone who's moved away remember us and come back and honor us in this way. I would like to move approval of this public request to erect the plaque at Austin Elementary School.
All right, we have a motion by Mrs. Fleury and a second by Mr. McShann. Any further comments or discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. The next item on the agenda is the School Board Continuing Education Report by Dr. Cavazos.
Mr. President, board members, as part of this item, the boards are required to make 2 announcements about board member continuing education credit during the year, one in December and one in February. The December school board continuing education record is attached and reflects that everyone has met the requirements set forth by the law.
Thank you very much. The next item that we have on the agenda is to adjourn and to close our executive session pursuant to Texas Government Codes, Section 551.071, Section 551.072, Section 551.074, and Section 551.082 of the Open Meetings Act for the following purposes. Number 1, discuss consideration and possible action on bids received at the July 2nd, 2014 tax resale on properties struck off to Cameron County for itself and other taxing jurisdictions. Number 2, discuss purchase of real property. And number 3, discuss employment of teachers and other professional staff. At this time, we will recess into closed session. We're back into open session. And the first item is consideration of possible action on bids received at the July 2nd, 2014 tax resale on property struck off to Cameron County for itself and other taxing jurisdictions. Do we have a motion?
President, I move approval of bids received at the July 2nd, 2014 tax resale of property struck off to Cameron County for itself and other taxing jurisdiction. I move approval of that.
Second motion?
All right, been moved by Mr. McShann, seconded by Dr. Pettis. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. The next item was just for consideration only. It's not an action item, which was consider purchase of real property, which was mainly a update. C is consider employment of teachers and other professional staff.
Mr. President, I move approval of employment of teachers and other professional staff as recommended by administration.
Moved by Dr. Pettis,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Fleurier. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned.